What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. I got a little different video for you today. I recently went to the Outdoor Retailer Expo. There's all sorts of outdoor, companies, Leatherman, Carhartt, knife companies, you name it. They're all there. And of course, me being a knife guy, I stopped at all the knife booths. And I talked to Spyderco, and I wanted to do the thing I've been seeing quite a bit as of recently, and that's the 2016 mid-year product guide from them. I'll kind of go over these knives and what I think about them. A lot of them are going to be pretty high-end knives that might be out of my price range right now, but definitely some cool models that need a good looking at. Of course, let's go over the patch this time. Disregard females and acquire currency. What a funny patch. I'm definitely not like that. My lady's awesome, but still. Cool, funny morale patch. I like it. So when I was there, there was a couple of gals working the booth, and they were awesome. Super knowledgeable knives. Obviously, they worked for Spyderco, but I mean, they were great to talk to. They would have talked knives with me all day long, and they were definitely there to talk to retailers, to retail buyers, to buy for stores and sell their products. And me, without that intent, going up and just talking knives, it was pretty incredible to see them give me so much attention and really just care about their customers like me, who've bought multiple Spydercos, which I'm sure most of you guys have too. So they did give me a 2016 product guide as well. Super cool presentation on this one. Got a native 5 lightweight on the front, and there is just way too much information to go over in this one. I mean, that would be an hour and a half long video, really. But really cool catalog. I love this page here showing all their models that they've currently produced. It's awesome. That's a cool product guide. And then they did give me a Zabo Hawk pin. This thing is sweet. Little Zabo Hawk. I don't know what I'm going to put this on, but definitely a cool little knife collector thing there. All right, so down to the 2016 mid-year product guide. Go in here. First page is going to talk about Spyderco's innovation, which they're definitely good at, bringing different and cool products to the knife world. And the first page here, we have model number C214 TIP, the Advocate. It's a flipper design, a little over 8 inches overall. Let's look at some other things here. This thing's a little bit awkward, so forgive the weird movements here. Gail Bradley design, interesting. Got the hole as well, of course. Ball bearing, 3D machine titanium. Ooh, that is some cool looking titanium. It's almost a pebble texture, kind of a standard clip here. Frame lock. Whole thing's got kind of a bronzed finish, really cool looking. Blade length on that one's just under 3.5 inches. CPM M4. Unfamiliar with that steel, but I've heard great things about it. 3.6 ounces for a bigger blade. That is awesome. Clip is only tip up, Taiwan produced. Reeve integral lock and a full flat grind on that one. Holy crap, I am way excited about that. That is a cool blade. I'm sure it's going to be one pricey blade, but I expect the knife nuts, and especially the higher end production knife nuts, to be all over that one. If you guys are into the knife world at all, you know what this blade is here. The Rubicon 2. 7.4 inches overall. I guess I won't bore you with those dumb model numbers here, but here we go. Peter Carey's design, of course. Carbon fiber handle scales on this. S30V blade steel, just like the first one. Let's look at some of these specs here. A little over a 3-inch blade. Actual edge length is 2 3/4, 4.1 ounces. Liner lock still. Hollow grind on it. I'm assuming there's still titanium liners in there. I've heard these things are great flippers. Nick Shabazz just had a full review on the Rubicon, and he actually really liked it, which was surprising. Definitely going to be out of my price range. Kind of a thick blade stock still at 0.138 inches. I don't know about that. I don't see the orange backspacer on this, the G10 backspacer, or the orange stylized pivot. And that was one thing I wasn't too fond of on the Rubicon 1. I think the Rubicon 2 looks a little bit better. I really do. I don't know how the thickness of the handle is, because the last one looked pretty chunky. But that's going to be one that I think is going to do pretty well for them. And I'm getting all sorts of confused here, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, on to the next one. This is the Magnitude Flipper. Interesting. 8.22 inches overall. This looks like a bigger blade. Kind of looks like the Rubicon 2 and the Rubicon 1, honestly. Different styling on that carbon fiber, but definitely looks contoured. Who designed this one? Oh, also Peter Carey. CPM S30V. Oh, that is an ugly pocket clip if I ever saw one. 5.3 ounces, pretty heavy. Hollow grind on it, liner lock. Ball bearing washers, of course. Super thick blade at 0.154, sorry guys. Blade length, 3.5 inches. I'm not too excited about that one. I don't think that the blade grind is going to lend that to be a good slicer whatsoever. I don't know. I don't think this is going to do as well as the Rubicons. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really like the blade shape as much either, but we'll move on. This is one of Spyderco's ethnic knives. This is called the Euro Edge. That is a cool looking blade. I don't know how functional it is, but definitely looks like a needle point or a dagger. 8.96 inches overall. That's a long one too. Let's get in and look at this one. Ed Shemp design. He designed the Tough, if I'm not mistaken. S30V blade, G10 scales, sturdy liner lock. Interesting. 6 ounce weight. It's a little heavy, maybe. 0.157 thick blade as well. Edge length is 3.9 inches. Holy crap, this is a big blade. 5-inch handle. Interesting. Best swords and drafts. So definitely the Euro design, obviously Euro Edge. I don't think that's ground on both sides, even though it looks like a dagger. I'm not sure on that. Skeletonized stainless steel liners. I know nothing fancy likes that. Watch this little video of these as well. Tip up carry. The clip actually matches that one pretty good. It's got an interesting fullers on the blade and a really 3D contoured handle there too. Interesting. This is one I'm excited about. The Ouroboros. I probably murdered that name, guys, but this is going to be a nice smaller knife, 6.88 inches. I think this thing is going to be a great seller for Spyderco. Let's look at the specs first. Close length 4.16 inches, blade length at 2.84, edge length under 2.5 inches, VG10 steel, only 2.6 ounces. Spyderco's full flat grind. Oh, it's awesome. And look at that wire clip, that deep carry wire clip, little lanyard hole. I think this is a great looking knife. I mean, you can see that forward finger choil a little bit. I think that handle is going to be extremely ergonomic. That is awesome. Paul Alexander, the designer. I'm not too familiar with him. Reversible clip. That is a sweet looking knife. I can't wait to see the price on that one. That one's something I might need to add to my collection. And of course the compression lock. That's going to be your biggest seller there. I think that's cool. Japanese made Spyderco. This one's kind of interesting. The Reinhold Rhino. 5.95 inches overall. That's a different looking kind of upswept blade there. Interested to see a little bit more on that one. Let's see here. 2.23 inch blade, full flat ground, compression lock, G10 scales. That clip is a little bit ungainly large for that one. I love the steel CTS BD1. Guys, I think this knife's going to be a little bit too small for me. That's a 3-finger grip, no doubt. I don't know about that one. Compression lock, though, they're adding that a little bit more and more as time goes on, and I think the whole knife community, me included, is excited to see that. Here's a classic coming up, the Sage 5. I think I'm the only knife nut on all of YouTube that doesn't have a Sage knife. And maybe this will be the first one I get. Sweet looking blade. Obviously a tribute to lock designers or just knife locks in general in each one of these models. 7.2 inches overall. Great EDC size, I can already tell you that. Under a 3-inch blade as far as the cutting edge. Fairly thin blade, S30V, full flat ground, 3.2 ounces. Ooh, carbon fiber and a G10 laminate. Reversible wire clip. Compression lock on the 5. Love it. I think this knife's going to be spectacular. Love that one. The Spidey Chef. Interesting name on this one. Definitely not a chef myself, but 7.78 inches. I'm already liking the size. I like the look of it quite a bit already. Here we go. Steel is LC200N. No idea on that steel, guys. I can't even tell you if it's a higher end steel. I'm sure it is if Spyderco's using it. Full flat ground. I love that upswept blade. Going to be a great chef knife, honestly. Good for these rolling cuts where you got the knife and kind of the opposite, really, of a Warncliffe. You can't roll this edge at all. That's got tons of belly. Let's see here. Fairly thin blade as well. I like this one. Taiwanese made. Who designed this one? Oh, Marcin Sleish? I can never pronounce that right. I see everyone on YouTube. doing it differently. I think that's going to be a good EDC knife. Is that a frame lock as well? Nice. Ball bearing. Titanium scales. Yep, I love that one. I think that's going to be a great one. Might be a little bit overpriced. We'll see on that steel, I guess. Moving on, kind of go quickly through these. Jumpmaster 2, fully serrated model. H1 steel, going to be good in the water. Not something you guys are probably going to see on the Fun with Knives channel, that's for sure. The Sustain, 20 CV, great steel. That looks like G10. That's going to be a big kind of backpacking blade for sure. Saber grind on it. Ooh, that sheath is ugly. Interesting. 3D machined. Yep, G10 handles. I like that one. Maybe not the best thing in the world as far as my fixed blade collection goes. The Junction. This is a weird looking knife. Also a steel I'm not familiar with. PSF 27. Interesting. Full flat ground though. You can see that. Very weird. That's a Gale Bradley fixed blade. I can't comment on that one too much. I'm not familiar with it. And lastly, the Starling 2. A bird knife. Great look to it. It is tiny though. I mean, your blade length is 1 3/4 inches. G10 handle scales. Full flat grind, 1.1 ounces. This is almost a keychain knife, honestly, guys. This is tiny, but probably a good value. I mean, these things are probably going to be 15 bucks or so. 8CR13 MOV, wouldn't expect anything less. So, guys, they're your 2016 mid-year Spyderco releases. Ones I'm really excited about: the Advocate, the Ouroboros, and the Sage 5. The Spidey Chef, depending on the price point, I can kind of guess where the Sage 5 and the Advocate and the Ouroboros are going to be around. Don't want to say it yet, but I have ideas in my head. But that Spidey Chef, I have no idea. But I'm honestly really excited about it. The other ones, not so much. So thanks, guys, for watching. If you ever get a chance to talk to Spyderco at all, at any event, blade show, or anything like that, I've heard nothing but good things about Sal and Eric Glesser themselves, or any of their employees. I heard Spyderco is a great company to work for. And honestly, guys, I was nerding out. They had every model that I could think of that I ever wanted to see or hold. You know, I messed with the Techno and the Nirvana and all these different Spydercos I would never even dream of owning. And it was a cool experience for me as a knife collector, just to touch them, feel them, have them in hand, and talk knives with the people that create them. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hope this was a little bit interesting to you. And make sure to have a fun with your knives.